First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Mang Liaoming. Homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dupten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. Homage to Mahabala. Homage to the retinue of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. Simu, Danzhen Katso, Duten Siddhi, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples and viewers over the webcast. Good evening. How do you do?
I stay. Hola amigo.
Hola amigo.
Te quiero mucho.
Te quiero mucho.
Sugoi.
Sugoi. Ichiban.
Kimoji.
Kimoji.
Jumi.
Jumi.
Yapi.
Yapi.
Bling bling.
Ling ling.
Konbanwa.
Konbanwa.
Dajawanan.
Good evening, everyone. Today, with questions you ask and I will answer. Here, it mentioned Grandmaster. Please, in your book, The Fifth Teaching to the Path to Liberation, in the article on the Vajra chanting, you mention about holding the breath or qi, and the dwelling syllable rises to the crown chakra and then descends to the base chakra and then rises again to the heart chakra. Should this visualization be done during complete inhalation or during the holding of the breath? So let me first answer this question. So the syllable or character rises to the crown chakra and then descends to the base chakra and then rises again to the heart chakra. The visualization of all this is during complete inhalation or holding of the breath. So when you hold the breath, the syllable during the holding of the breath, before you disperse the qi, after you hold the breath for a short period of time, before you disperse it, then you move the syllable up to the crown chakra, down to the base chakra, and then up to the heart chakra. It should be done during the dispersion of the breath or qi. So you breathe in, you hold it, and that ah syllable, and when the dwelling ah syllable, before you disperse it, you use the power of the dispersion to go up and down and up again before you disperse it, and then you exhale the breath. That's how you should do it. Not during the complete inhalation and not during the holding of the breath. You do it when you disperse the qi. In practicing the second question, in practicing the 9 cycle Buddha breathing, should we be inhaling while visualizing the qi is descending from the trumpet-shaped central channel, or should we be exhaling? Can we visualize the central channel inside the spine so that it is stably fixed? So let me tell you, the so-called central channel is formless, intangible. It is to be visualized. It's not on the spine. According to Tantrayana, when you visualize the 3 channels, your inside is completely empty. Don't think there would be a spine there. Don't think that there is a heart organ or lungs organ or rib cage. I have taught you this before. When you meditate, you should visualize that your whole body is empty. And then you set up your central channel, your right channel, your left channel. So inside is empty, not on the spine. So the spine is used in Taoism to follow the spine. But in Tantrayana, in Tantric Buddhism, it teaches you to empty yourself completely. All that are left are the central channel, the left channel, and the right channel. So you ask about 9 cycle Buddha breathing, and you visualize the white qi, 2 white qi entering into your body, circulate. When it's dead and there, you go up to the mouth of the trumpet, and then it comes down and then gets out from the 2 nostrils. What does this mean? You have to do that in one inhalation. So in left and right nostrils, right and left channels, and then to the central channel, up to the top, and then down again, and then to the left and right channels, and then out the nostrils. That's in one breath. Not that you continue to inhale and visualize the qi coming down. No, then you should exhale. No. Just with one breath. It's very simple. You use this finger. One breath from the right nostril. One circle and out the left nostril. And then you use this finger to close that one. That's one breath. And then this in, and then you close this one, and then you out here. You alternate the closing and And the third cycle, breathe in, and then you close both, and then it circulates, and then you open again, and then you breathe out. So you do it with one breath. That's for the 9th cycle Buddha breathing.
当气之中脉喇叭头下降时，是继续吸气，错了，不是继续。
So do you continue to inhale when the qi is descending from the trumpet-shaped central channel? No.
才开始吐气，是一口气做的。
So you do it with one breath.
就是9口气。
So 9th cycle Buddha breathing means 9 breaths. 9 times of inhalation and exhalation. So can we visualize the central channel inside the spine? No, that's wrong. Inside it, there are only central channel, left channel, and right channel, nothing else. No organs, no blood, no flesh, nothing. It's empty.
再来讲第3个问题。此外，观想师尊眉心。
Also, when visualizing Grandmaster's brow point, throat and heart chakras radiating lights to bless me, I often feel that I'm filled with karmic energy, so it is impossible for me to visualize the light to be clear and bright or strong. Please advise what should I do so that I can smoothly purge the obstacles to my visualization.
我告诉你，我在观想药师金母或者阿弥陀佛。
When I visualize Golden Mother or Amitabha Buddha or Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, first I would think of them, visualize them to appear, and then at their brow point there's a white R, at their throat area there's at the brow point there is a white Om. At the throat chakra there's a red R. At the heart chakra there is a blue Hom. All the same. After you clearly visualize the yidam right in front of you, you visualize 3 circles, and inside it there are 6 syllables or mantra seeds, and white, red, and blue. It's easy to visualize white, the color of milk, and then red. It's bright red or red flower, the color, and blue, like sky blue. It's very clear. White, red, and blue, and the 6 syllables, and the radiant light. That right on your brow point there is a white Om, at the throat a red A, and at the heart a blue Hom. This is called the empowerment of the 3 lights. You see the lights radiated by the yidam. Every time I would see the lights radiated by Amitabha Buddha, the light of Om at the brow chakra would be shining toward your brow point, and you can feel the touch. You have to visualize it clearly. If you are colorblind, then of course you cannot visualize clearly. You form a circle that's white, and Om, and red A, and blue home to form 3 circles. And then you look at milk and then you visualize that. At the forehead, there's an Om syllable, white like milk, shining on you. And then you carry the red circle and then the blue circle. Should be very clear.
所以你一定要用你的本身的力量去阻止杂念。
So you need to use your power to discard all the running thoughts and visualize clearly. The wandering thoughts should not appear right away. Usually they appear after a visualization for a long time. That's my experience. They usually don't appear right away, the running thoughts. Visualizing Grandmaster's brow point, throat chakra and heart chakra, radiating lights to bless me. I often feel that I'm filled with karmic energy. This is incredible, yet you can feel that you're filled with karmic energy. I never think of that. Never thought of that. So you visualize the light to be clear and bright and powerful. That is right. The obstacles in my mind. Just try your best. That's all I can say. Because I can think of it very clearly and you cannot. Perhaps sometimes it's clear and sometimes not. It's related to this joke that life is just like poo. There's soft and there's hard, sometimes smooth and sometimes not, sometimes painful and sometimes not, and sometimes there's blood and tears, and sometimes you cry out and sometimes you don't. So you can use all of it. Sometimes when you poo, it's very clear, and sometimes it's not. How much have you pooped? You don't know. You have to look back to see it clearly. So human life is really like poo. When I visualize, sometimes it's clear, bright, and powerful, and sometimes it's rather fuzzy. And that is the truth. So human life is just like poo. You need to train so that every time it's bright, clear, and powerful, and strong. Then it will be good. Another question. Grandmaster, peace with you. If I perform the 9 cycle Buddha breathing quickly, will it affect my chi and channels? And the Chinese medical channels. I have taught you that to perform 9 cycle Buddha breathing, you have to be soft and fine and gentle and long. You have to visualize it clearly. You have to do it very fine. where it has reached and then gets out. Has to be slowly, because only when you do it slowly you can concentrate. If you do it fast, it's not that fast. Just do it slowly, step by step. Let's just use my pinkies. Breathe in. Those were 6 cycles. That was about the speed. Don't do it too fast. If you are already familiar with it, that the nostrils will close off automatically. You don't need the fingers. Then it would be natural. There's no need to close the nostrils with the fingers. Because when you use the left nostril, you can control that the breath will go in there and close off the other nostril and vice versa. And you perform it for 9 cycles. The key point is to concentrate. Why do you want to do it so fast? No need to do it so fast. Will it affect my qi and channels? Of course. Because if you do it too fast, sometimes you get hurt. Sometimes you get hurt. The key point is, in inhalation, you visualize the qi to reach the areas, and slowly, both in inhalation and exhalation. In 9-cycle Buddha breathing, there is no holding the breath, just going in and out, and they both slowly for a long time. The breath you measure with your fingers. It's rather long, not just with like the typical breathing that you just reach the throat. As long as about a foot. So about a foot long. So also inside a foot long. In and out. It's all even. Of course, the longer the better. So finely, slowly, and
你精神
long.
不能统一，
So it's not good to do it fast. You cannot
吸得太快，
concentrate. And if you
你就变
breathe
成
too quickly,
会影响经脉。
then it will
跟
affect
气
your
脉
qi
会
and
影响。
channels.
哦，请问师尊，如果家人恩爱，
If my family is biased toward 观圣帝君 or 关公 and enshrine him, does it mean that at the time of my family's deaths that he would come to meet them? Can they follow him and why?
谢谢。
Thank you.
我还没有讲你为什么讲为什么。
I haven't said anything and you already asked why.
我们把关圣帝君
We think of 观圣帝君
我们净土中的或是学佛的，都是西方三圣
Typically, the Pure Land sect
观世音菩萨
believe in the Western Trinity, Amitabha Buddha, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, and Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva to
修本
meet us and guide us to Pure Land.
这个本尊的现
Or
在
when you
里面
practice your Yidam
然后
yoga
接引
and you have spiritual union with the
你
Yidam,
谈到家
then the
人
Yidam would
恋爱
appear
关圣
and
帝
guide
君
you. And yet you said that your family
佛
is
教的
biased
伽蓝尊者
toward 观圣帝
也
君,
就是寺庙
which
的
is
伽蓝
in Buddhism, he is Sangharama, which is
寺庙
the
的
temple
寺字的意思
protectors in Buddhism.
也就是寺这个寺庙的守护神。
So
我
he's
们
like
经
the
常
temple
把那
protector
个韦陀
in
尊者
Buddhism.
跟伽蓝尊者，韦
So
陀呢，
we often have a Weituo,
对不对？韦陀在这里，
Skanda on this
但是
side,
关圣
right?
帝君伽蓝
And Sangharama
是在这一边。
is on that side, on the one on the left, one on the right.
那么韦陀
two
跟
sides
伽蓝都是佛
So
的守护
Skanda
神
and Sangharama are the protectors
这个就是
to the Buddha.
伽蓝尊者，
This is
这个就
Sangharama.
是伽蓝尊者。那么伽
That
蓝
was
尊者呢，
Sangharama.
如果我现身，你跟他去，
So if Sangharama appears and you want to follow
个
him,
人
in my
觉得
personal
你
opinion,
修
it's
伽蓝
okay.
尊者做本尊，
If you practice Sangharama as your personal deity or
那
yidam
是可以。
and you follow
不
him,
要把
it's
他认
okay.
为他是关圣帝君，这是韦陀尊者。
And this one
韦
is
陀尊者
Skanda.
你也可以当本尊，
And you
伽
can
蓝
also
尊者
treat
可
him
以当本尊。
as your
然后
yidam
当你
or Sangharama
临
too
终的
or
时候
Skanda.
你因为修伽蓝尊者
Because
做你
you
的本尊关
practice
圣帝君
Sangharama or Skanda as your
他现
yidam,
出来接引
then at the moment of death,
是可以
they
跟
would
他去。
appear, he would appear to
你如
guide
果
you
修
and you can
韦
follow
陀
him. It's okay.
修伽蓝都可以跟
So
他去。
if you practice Skanda or Sangharama, it's okay to follow him
但是
or
呢，
them,
现
one of
在
them.
很多这个，我觉得广东人啊，广东人，
However,
他把这
many
个伽蓝尊
Cantonese
者当成财神，
treat
关圣帝君当成
Sangharama
财神。
as the wealth deity or fortune god.
这个跟你的这个观念
So
有
to
关。
worship him
如
as
果
the
是韦
fortune
陀尊
god.
者，他是韦陀尊天菩萨。
So for Skanda,
菩萨
we call him as Skanda Bodhisattva. Then you can reach the level of
也可
bodhisattvahood.
以当成一个菩萨，
And you can also treat Sangharama as a
你一样
bodhisattva.
可以到菩萨那里
And all the same, you can go to the realm of bodhisattva. But if you
是
treat
财
them
神
as a fortune
那你会
god,
到财神天去。
then you
到财
go
神
to the
天去
heaven of the
这是
fortune
观
god.
念头的不同。
So the difference is in your
佛教
mind.
有一句话讲，
In Buddhism, we
因
have
地
a saying,
因地
if the causal ground
有一点歪曲，
is not correct, then your resultant ground is also slanted. So if your causal ground is slanted, then your resultant ground is also slanted. Therefore, the causal ground is very important. In Tantrayana, we say that whichever yidam you practice, that yidam will appear. Whenever you're in spiritual union with your yidam, once you attain spiritual responses with your yidam, at the moment of death, you can make your soul to leave from your apex and enter into the heart of your yidam. That's the enter me and I enter. And the yidam will bring you to the pure land of the yidam. In Tantrayana we say, if your causal ground is very proper and correct, then your resultant ground would be proper. Then you would attain the fruition properly. Like Grandmaster practice Amitabha Buddha as yidam, and Amitabha Buddha will appear. And above him, there is Golden Mother. At the center, Amitabha Buddha. And below him, Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. And three deities appear at once. Your consciousness, your intrinsic nature or spirit or soul would leave your body through the apex and enter into Golden Mother, Amitabha Buddha, and Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. I made the vow to go to the Pure Land of Golden Mother, Amitabha Buddha, and Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. I would transform myself into 3 bodies, and one follows Golden Mother, one follows Amitabha Buddha, and Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. Very clearly. Once you gain spiritual union, they will appear. So this is very important. Between the yidam and you, this is a very important matter. If the yidam doesn't appear, but your root guru appears, Padma Kumara appears, and you follow him, you enter into the guru's heart, and the guru will bring to you to the pure land of Padma Kumara, the Mahadouble Lotus Ponds. Or if your protector appears, Yamantaka appears, the same, you enter into the heart of Yamantaka, you will go to Yamantaka's pure land. All the same. And Yamantaka's pure land is the pure land of Manjushri Bodhisattva and also Amitabha Buddha. In Japanese Tantrayana, they believe that Yamantaka is a manifestation of Amitabha Buddha. In Tibetan Tantrayana, they believe that Yamantaka is an emanation of Manjushri Bodhisattva. Actually, they are from the one line. Amitabha Buddha, Manjushri, and Yamantaka. One line, one system. So about this one, that my family is biased toward Guanseng Dijun and enshrine him. Does it mean at the time of their deaths, he comes to meet them, can they follow him? So if your family members regard him as the fortune god, then you go to the heaven of the fortune god. If you regard him as a bodhisattva, then you would go to the heavenly realm of the bodhisattva. That's very good, very meaningful. Someone told the doctor, when I eat the winter gourd, I would poop winter gourd. When I eat watermelon, I would poop the watermelon. When I eat the bitter gourd, I would poop the bitter gourd. What should I eat? And the doctors replied, just eat poo.
因为吃大便就会拉大便。
Because when you eat poo, you would poop poo.
就是这个是因果关系嘛。我修这个本尊，绝对是
That's
这个
cause and effect. If you practice this deity, then that deity will appear.
就前人尊
If you bias Guanseng Dijun, then Guanseng Dijun will appear and guide you. That's good. He's a bodhisattva. 今天是发考卷的日子。Today is the day
那个妈妈
to distribute the tests
隔壁的小美
questions.
考了99分，
And mom asks Xiaoming,
那算什么？
oh, Xiaohui next door got 99.
妈妈就
And Xiaoming replied, oh, I am 1 point more. Oh, so you got 100? Mom was very happy. And he replied, no, it's 9.9. One more point.
9.9分。
So 9.9.
今天再跟大家谈一下。
So today I will continue to talk about
迈日道引道
channels, seeds, guiding path.
这个藏密啊，很喜欢用梵字。藏密很喜欢用。
A Tibetan Tantrayana
如果一般的
really loves to use Sanskrit characters. In Zen Buddhism, they don't use any Sanskrit
不用
characters.
梵字。
There's no Sanskrit characters.
然后呢，净土宗
Or the Pure
也
Land
不用
school,
梵字。
they also don't use any Sanskrit characters. They just chant the Buddha's name.
用戒
In the Precept school,
禅宗、净
Zen Buddhism,
密宗
Pure Land
都不用
Buddhism,
梵字，很多宗派都不用。
and the Vinaya
特别是
Buddhism,
藏密
they don't
它
use
喜欢用
Sanskrit.
梵字。因为
But
密教本身的
Tantric
根
Buddhism, especially Tibetan Buddhism, loves to use Sanskrit characters
来自于
because the origin of
西藏
Tantrayana comes from India.
把梵字的另外改
So
变
Tibetan characters
藏
come
文
originated from the Sanskrit
印
characters.
度的梵字
They
把
have
它变出来
modified.
的藏文，
So the
印
Tibetan
度的梵字把它
language
变化。
was modified from the
印
Sanskrit
度的梵字
language.
其实
And the
是大
Sanskrit
梵字，他
characters,
们是这样子讲，布拉玛
according to
给予印
what
度，
they said,
也就是印度
is
人
that
使用的梵
Brahma
字
bestowed the Sanskrit characters to the Indians. So the Sanskrit characters were taught by
教
Brahma,
授的布拉玛本身所教授的，就是创造神
the
创造神
Creator
所创
God
造出来的文字。所以在
created
藏文
those
里面
characters,
他们
the
西
Sanskrit
藏的密
characters.
宗
So
就
in
喜欢
Tibetan
用
Tantrayana,
这个曼陀罗都是用梵字，
they
你看
love
嘛，它先出
to
现
use
每一
Sanskrit
个本尊，
characters in their
先出
mandalas.
现它的咒日出
For
来，
each yidam, the first appearance is of his or her syllable,
转化成为本尊，
and then revolving to become
转
the
化成
deity.
为本尊，甚至于他的额头、
And then at their forehead,
心、
throat,
所有
and
的
heart,
全
and
身
all
都是
their
用梵字
joints
所贴出来。
are being
所以这个这一本道果
pasted with Sanskrit characters.
本身所尊崇的道果，
So this Lamdre is highly revered by the Sakya sect.
很用很
So they are Tibetan Tantrayana, so they use a lot of Sanskrit characters. For Chinese Han people, they don't write these characters very well, although some do quite well. Like in Japanese Tantrayana, the Kobodaishi or Kukai, he went to Xi'an to learn Sanskrit, and then he brought Sanskrit back to Japan. And look at the Japanese kana, the Japanese characters. Japanese language includes Han characters, which is the Chinese Han characters. Because in Xi'an, he also learned Han and Sanskrit, and combining the Han characters, Han Chinese characters, and the Sanskrit characters, it becomes the Japanese language. So Japanese language is a combination of Chinese Han language with the Sanskrit language, was brought back by Kobodaishi. At those times, Tibet was close to India, so Tibetan language used Sanskrit language. So therefore, there is the guiding path of the channel seeds. And for the worldly path, the channel seeds guiding path is explained as the formula for both the qi and the ambrosia, which are clutching on the channels and the seeds. From the start of affinity of the channels and the seeds, the guiding path of the ordinary characters give rise to the unstable appearances. Therefore, the appearance of the 7 spiritual experiences that is considered as unreal fantasy. So in the beginning, the spiritual experience that appear is not real. At the very beginning, the qi and the ambrosia. So this is talking about qi, channel, and light drops. At the beginning, the spiritual experience is not real. It is a fantasy. It's created by our own thought. In the beginning of the practice of qi, channels, and seeds, this kind of phenomena appears. When you practice the qi or the breathing, like 9-cycle Buddha breathing, treasure-based energy yoga, and what just mentioned, Vajra chanting, that's to practice the qi. And to practice the channels, you use the qi to open the channels. And when you practice the light drops, you practice the white light drops descending and the red inner fire or the red light drops to ascend, to rise. Those are the practices of the qi, channels, and light drops. And in the beginning, the appeared phenomena is unreal. It's a fantasy. It's not real. So we can say that your qi is not pure. The channels are not completely open. And the light drops are still turbid. So at this time, the spiritual experience that appears, of course, is not real, and it is considered a fantasy, to be imaginary. During the middle accumulation period, there appears the 14 characters guiding path of the determining phenomena, and the phenomena is clear and stable. So during the middle accumulation period, the qi channels and light drops would be clearer and more stable. And during the latter accumulation period, there appears the utterly determining lucid appearance of the unimaginable seeds at the guiding path to attain the ultimate gentleness where the eyes can see all sorts of appearances far and close. Like the Venerable Elder Xi Yun, when he was sitting inside his own room, entering into Samadhi, in Tantrayana, in entering Samadhi, your qi is extremely smooth, the channels are open, the qi is full, the channels are open, and the light drops are very clear, ascending and descending and descending and ascending. At this time, the qi would reach the channels of the eyes, and it would generate light. When you close your eyes, you use this light to see beyond the walls. So the senior Venerable Xi Yun, in his meditation, his two eyes could see outside the walls, even when the walls were closed. He could see a disciple got up in the middle of the night and peed in his garden. It was written in his biography that in his meditation he saw his own disciple got to his garden and then picked up his robe and peed into his flower pot, and the flower plant wilted, was burned. So how could the Venerable Elder Xi Yun could see through the walls? That meant it had reached the ultimate gentleness where the eyes can see all sorts of appearances far and close. These are the instruction on the worldly path. So his eyes could see things up close and also far away. So this means you have reached the latter accumulation period. You have reached the latest. That's unimaginable. It's incredible. So he's seated inside his room, and yet he could see. In the garden. So the Venerable Elder Xi Yun, now I have his statue in my tent recorder, because when I suffered from the cellulitis, the Venerable Elder Xi Yun appeared in the sky. I had read his book in the past. That's the affinity I connected with him. And he appeared in the sky, and he extended his hand from the clouds all the way to my body to bless my feet, my leg. I saw it personally. Grandmaster personally had the vision of the Venerable Elder Xi Yun in the sky on top of the clouds and extended his arm all the way from the clouds to bless my leg. because I had this affinity, now I enshrine an image of the Venerable Elder Xu Yun, and it was offered by Master Chang Ren from the Dzogchen Center in Hong Kong. So Grandmaster could see the Venerable Elder Xu Yun, and the Venerable Elder Xu Yun could also bless me. So that showed that both the Venerable Elder Xu Yun and myself have reached that realm. My eyes could see the Venerable Elder Xu Yun on top of the clouds in the sky, and I was lying in bed in my own house. So that means that I could see far and close. You can see far and close. It's really inconceivable. It's really marvelous. If you could reach the latter accumulation period, then you would be able to get this kind of power. And the middle period, it would be very clear and very stable. Your body is very stable. Your qi and channels, your qi makes you very robust, and your channels makes you very open and smooth, and the light drops very clear. That's the phenomena of the middle accumulation period. And the initial accumulation period, it's not real. It's just imaginary and topsy-turvy. And for the out-of-worldly path, in the 6 grounds of the vast empowerment of the out-of-worldly path, by the power of the syllables, it is the guiding path of the pure seeds. In the worldly path and below, it is the power of impure syllables, which rises naturally and doesn't rise due to concentration. In the out-of-worldly path, because it is pure, the shape of the channel seeds change invariably. And the mind qi, being assimilated with it, can display all sorts of dignities of the appearances. The 4 grounds of the secret empowerment, the power of the syllable is mostly the pure guiding path. So in the out-of-worldly path, it's said that it can display all sorts of dignities of the appearances. Grandmaster, sometimes at nights, inadvertently, I didn't intend to see 1,000 eyes, 1,000 arms, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. I just visualized Amitabha Buddha to appear. I visualized myself to become my Yidam, Amitabha Buddha, and the 2 of us in union. I visualized Avalokitesvara sprinkle the pure nectar upon me. I visualized Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva to radiate red light from his lotus bud upon me. That's all I visualized, but all of a sudden, my right eye saw the 1,000 eyes, 1,000 arms, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva coming. It's not the image of that, but there are many arms appearing, not regular like the usual image. Many arms moving, waving, and the face of Avalokitesvara. And so I saw the appearance of the 1,000 eyes, 1,000 arms of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. And then I asked, why? Suddenly, the 1,000 eyes, 1,000 arms Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva appeared to show me. And Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva replied, because tomorrow, during your webcast, your Tongshu, I would become your main deity to appear in front of you. Therefore, I am able to see. It's not visualization. I didn't visualize it. I did not visualize it. He just appeared right next to me. And the arms are moving, are changing, forming many mudras and carrying all kinds of Dharma implements, lots of hands and lots of eyes, all transforming. I saw it very clearly and I felt very happy, very joyous. So that's also considered to be the guiding path. Because in the out-of-worldly path, it can display all sorts of dignified appearances. Like the Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. That's because you're pure. Because of the pure, the shape of the channel seeds change invariable, and the mind chi being assimilated with it. And the chi is pure, the channels also pure, and the light drops too are pure. And at that time, the light radiance that appears would be real and truthful. It's very clear. And this is also about clarity. In the past, once upon a time, there was a strawberry. And because he always used the face mask, like a mud mask, then the strawberry became a tomato. So the strawberry represents the mundane path or the worldly path, and the tomato represents the out-of-worldly path. So from the coarse one to become the fine one, our physical body is coarse. In the future, you can make yourself to become very fine, that the fine physical body, like a Padma Kumara, will appear. Then you move toward purity. So the surface of the strawberry is impure and tomato is pure. And another strawberry got like it doesn't like to eat. What's that called? It doesn't like to eat. So then it became the goji berry, which is drying up. Anorexia. So that's cause and effect. So when the strawberry dried up, then it became goji berry, which is dried up. That's cause and effect. So when we practice the purification of the body, speech and mind, gradually we purify our chi channel, light drops, and the mind chi. Once you're purified, you become a mirror. And when you're a mirror, you can reflect on the appearance of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and it would be very clear. Because if your mirror is not clear, then the image would be fuzzy. Therefore, you purify your body, speech, and mind first, then your qi channel and seeds would also become pure. Then you would become a clear mirror. Then the image of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas would be very clear. This person felt that man is more important than woman. Then the heavy ones should be picked up by the man. So how can we have equality between man and woman? Man has more strength, right? And man looks more coarse and stocky, and woman looks more gentle and fine. They are different. So there is a difference between man and woman. Man and woman cannot be equal. Why the heavy ones always done by man and the light ones are done by woman? There's some reason to it. Is there anyone? Do you sell any life insurance that would give money when you become fat? Because life insurance in Chinese is play of word in Chinese. Life insurance instead of like being skinny insurance. So if you're not skinny, if you're too fat, then you would get the proceeds. There is no such insurance. Dad asked Mom, why are you always so kind to the kids? You're always very kind and gentle and caring toward the children, but to me you're always very strict and fierce. Before Mom replies, the kids replied, because we are all born from Mom, but not you. Sometimes it sounds rational, but Mom always closer to the kids. But actually dads love their kids too. About the epidemic, the days of taking temperatures is about to pass. If there's no more epidemics, we don't have to measure our temperature, our body temperature. But then we should measure our weight, because we just stay home and sleep and eat. So when you look at Grandmaster, do I gain weight or lose weight or the same? The same. Oh, that's good. That's the best. That means I don't love to eat. I don't eat too much. And on traveling, we travel to the temple, and when I want to get a ticket, I ask, is there a special ticket, special discount for students? the student about to visit a temple and had to buy a ticket. In China, to visit a temple, you have to buy a ticket. And as I remember, not in Taiwan. We don't sell tickets at Taiwan temples. But in China, yes. And the student asked, is there a special discount for students? And the person selling tickets replied, everyone is equal in front of the Buddha, so there's no discount for students. Wait until the epidemic passes. Then the man will understand why some women will feel depressed after childbirth. It's related. Not in Taiwan. About epidemics. For us, from March, we have the stay-at-home order up till now. It has not been lifted yet. And there are many people who cannot stand it anymore. Everybody has got a weird temper. Some people have suffered from depression. So we hope that the epidemic will pass very soon, that we are being protected by the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Because we already feel in our hearts that we are always being locked in. You cannot gather a lot of us. See, it's only Grandmaster, only webcast, and also for the Homa. So if we don't open the lockdown or relieve the stay-home order, then our upcoming grand ceremony will be performed at the Dragon King Pavilion. And we will have the webcast. Because so there should be flights between countries, right? So the disciples can come. Otherwise, they cannot come even if they want to. They have to be in quarantine for 14 days. So it's the same between US and Canada. The border is being closed. So the Canadians cannot come to America and the Americans cannot go to Canada, and moreover to other countries. So we really hope the epidemics will go away soon. So we pray to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to please shower compassion upon all sentient beings so that the epidemic will go away soon. Please bless us. Otherwise, that's the webcast for today. Om Mani Padme Hum.